What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. And they're linked as always in the description to this video, so go ahead and check out our sponsors there. Today, we're getting into mostly Central Plains storms. The bulk of stuff is going to be happening through Nebraska with the big hail, but we could potentially see some sneaky storms making their way up towards the Minneapolis and Duluth corridor. So we're going to cover that, and then into tomorrow, things should push back into the I-25 Front Range area, Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo. You guys will be in the mix into tomorrow's forecast, so getting into that. And then, of course, we got to talk about the heat. It's persisting and probably will be for the next while here, but getting into DFW and OKC and where you guys might be able to roof, where you guys are going to be dealing with the heat, and so on. So before we get into our weather, I'm going to start the show here with our 3-star map from yesterday. This was through parts of South Dakota and Nebraska, particularly the Pierre area here, got up to 4.5-inch hail. So super large hail through the capital, I believe, of South Dakota there, and then tracked down to the south, got some large hail making its way all the way past Fort Thompson, Chamberlain, Platte, like a lot of areas through South Dakota. Now, Nebraska did get hit as well, but the bulk of the homes impacted during this series of storms was from that Pierre area, so that's what made it a 3-star for yesterday. So if you guys are out in the Dakotas or Nebraska and want to go ahead and check out this area, that is a 3-star map from Tuesday called Pierre, Pine Ridge, South Dakota, Clinton, Nebraska hail. And if you don't have access to our map products yet, you guys can go ahead and scan the QR code up above me, click the link in the description to this video, and we'll go ahead and help you out with getting set up for a demo and signing up for our products. But again, if you already have that, go ahead and check out that 3-star map from yesterday. 4.5-inch hail as the max hail size on that. So, going to see what we can get for today. Looking at our jet stream, we had a little brief shortwave trough that moved over parts of the upper plains, and it's continuing out that way. That's what's going to drive our storms through Minnesota and through the Central Plains. Already seeing some stuff popping up through Wisconsin and parts of Nebraska right now. Should see some intensification on that, particularly with this clearing behind those storms that are ongoing there. And then down through the Ohio Valley, lots of cloud cover in Kentucky, and the main bulk of these storms making their way out of Tennessee into Alabama and Georgia before they'll eventually taper off a little bit here. Lots of rain on that, some high winds here and there, but expecting to see a very low-end severe threat remaining out of that system as it, tapers off into this afternoon. So, looking at heat for the U.S., still sitting in the 90s and hundreds for a lot of the south. That's going to be pretty prevalent. 106 degrees in Phoenix, 104 in Macon, Georgia, and topping out at 111 in Corpus Christi, Texas right now. So super hot across the south. Too hot to get us any hail down there. It's really going to be that transition zone where we're seeing that warm air meeting that cooler air from up north. Cooler's relative, it's in the 70s and 80s up there, but where we got that upper forcing and we've got some instability from those differences in temperature masses, that's where we could potentially see some storms into today. The rest of us are just going to keep baking in the south. Now, for significant hail, we'll see a flicker of instability popping up again through upper Minnesota and Wisconsin by around 3 p.m. today. Could potentially see some large hail there, but again, really it's going to be the Nebraska show by, again, this afternoon around 3. Could be seeing some very large stones forming and tracking southeastward through the Central Plains for our storm risk into today. So watching that for the next few hours. Here's what it's going to look like here on our future radar. So there goes those storms up in northern Minnesota and Wisconsin there. A couple of those could potentially get rotating. Again, we're kind of linked up with that upper level low pressure system, and so we could see some spin on those storms as well as some large hail tracking through Duluth. Then see that start to stretch out to the southwest, making a run trying to get towards Minneapolis. You guys are kind of 50-50 today in terms of whether those will initiate far enough to the west to hit the city itself, but it's going to continue tracking down to the southeast over Madison, Green Bay area, and you'll see the intensity on those storms start to kind of wane through the overnight. Now for the main show here, down in the Central Plains, there's where you get a ton of angry supercells forming by around 5 p.m. Central, and again, a lot of those could be producing that large hail as they push down to the southeast. So the Grand Island, Kearney, Hastings area could potentially see impacts from those as they move through, cluster together, and eventually form a wind threat through parts of the southern plains, through Mississippi, Missouri, Kansas, etc. Then last, through the southeast and through parts of the Ohio Valley, not really seeing a ton. It's going to be flickers of storms here and there just popping up across the region, and we could get a low-end severe threat from any of those that pass through. So it's going to be very here and there for the Ohio Valley for today. So that leaves us with our best risk area through the northern Midwest and the Central Plains, with a low-end risk here through the Ohio and Tennessee Valley, I guess. So Minneapolis, leaving it on a low end today, moderate for Duluth, with those storms tracking through. So we'll see if things can shift far enough west into Minneapolis, but you are in the risk. So there's that for our roofer friends in Minneapolis. Then down through the Central Plains, through Nebraska, even parts of Kansas could potentially see those large hailstones pushing down that way. So if you're in Colby, even in parts of far eastern Colorado, could potentially see 2–2.5 inch hail, and waiting on those baseballs and above for central Nebraska for today. Now once we get to Omaha, KC, and out east, it's going to be a low-end risk for severe weather pretty much across the board. So if you're in any of those highlighted areas, just any of those singular cells that move over, or that cluster in Tennessee that continues to track that way, could potentially produce some severe storms, but it's going to be very few and far between. Then for wind, it could potentially pick up a little bit through parts of that main risk area, and going to throw in parts of Nevada and Utah for some gusty winds here and there. That's going to be a pretty low-end risk. But if you guys are in Minneapolis all the way down into Colby, have a chance to see some high winds on those storms. And then out east, again, same story. It's going to be a low-end chance once we're pretty much to Omaha, KC, and out east. Low-end risk to see severe weather for that area, but non-zero. Then for tornadoes, going to be looking the best, again, up near Duluth, kind of touched on it a minute ago, but we'll have more spin up in the atmosphere that way. So moderate chance for Duluth for tornadoes, should be brief if anything forms. Then Minneapolis, Kearney, Grand Island, Hastings, you guys have a chance, as well as with the remnants of that system, and then anything that forms later on overnight through Paducah and Nashville. That whole central Tennessee area could potentially see a spin up or two. It's very, very low end through that area. Can't stress that enough. So that's what we have for today. Can you roof? You can. We're going to be topping out the temperature meters here and even breaking them as we're exceeding 100 degrees in the south for pretty much across the board from Phoenix all the way into Mississippi here. Got over 100 degrees, 107 in Dallas by 5 p.m., 108 in OKC. We'll see if we can beat Dallas on the temperature scale. I don't know if that's going to happen, but either way, super hot temperatures through the south. Probably not the best idea to be getting up on roofs. You guys tell me, you're the experts, so tell me what your threshold is, but it's going to be really hot. And then if you're up in the central parts of the U.S., you're going to be dealing with those storms passing through into today and tomorrow. So that might hinder you a little bit. But again, just down south, it's going to be that heat that's playing a role into tomorrow afternoon and today with those storms. So that's kind of the takeaway from the heat for you guys in the roofing industry. But getting into tomorrow's hail forecast, now we got the 25 corridor in it. So we're going to see storms starting to form near Pueblo, Denver, Colorado Springs. Once they form in the mountains and have that chance to track over 25, they got a little bit of time to intensify. So we're seeing that by around 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain Time into tomorrow's forecast. Then those storms track east, and again, there they go, intensifying through eastern Colorado. Still got a chance out in Denver to see more effects from that system tracking east, and some large hail out that way for you guys in the Central Plains. As that moves along, potentially clusters up, forms some wind, and northern Oklahoma gets some much needed cooling rain into your Friday morning. Then out east could be a more interesting day than today for the Ohio Valley. You're going to get this system tracking through by around noon central, 1 p.m. eastern. As that moves off to the east, should see more storms forming behind it through Indianapolis, parts of eastern Indiana, western Ohio. Could get some large hail out of those. And then there they go, off to the east, potentially prolonging that severe risk through the afternoon and into the evening before things clear out for the overnight. So we got a chance for some large hail through both the Ohio Valley and the Front Range, and we'll hone in on where the largest hail can be into tomorrow. Talk to you guys about that. But got a wind risk through these areas as well. So pretty much from Pueblo all the way out east, got a chance for high winds. And then Dodge City and Pueblo right now, moderate for hail. Could see some ping pong to golf ball size stones here and there. Denver, gonna leave you in the low. We'll see what happens into tomorrow. But as things track eastward, low end chance for hail anywhere far south. But once we get up into where those isolated storms are forming through like the Indy area as well as, you know, Fort Wayne up into Detroit, could see some more large hail. Again, up to golf ball size for now. We'll see how tomorrow things are shaping up in the atmosphere, see what it looks like. But yeah, this whole area could see some potential hail into tomorrow's forecast, so stay tuned for that. And then just going to leave you guys, if you're our friends in Denver, Dallas, OKC, we got a lot of, you guys watching, so want to leave you guys with our 5-day forecast for temperatures. And again, this is just the actual temperature, so this doesn't factor in heat index. Denver should be pretty cool in the 70s and 80s. We love that for you guys, but Dallas and OKC, trying to make a run at 105 multiple days in a row and not seeing much relief in the overnight hours, staying in the upper 70s and 80s. So it's going to make those AC, they're going to be putting in some work for the next few days as we wait for hopefully a period of some cooling to be coming on Saturday and Sunday. And here's what that's going to look like in your heat index for us in DFW and OKC. So for the next 2 days, sitting in the mid hundreds, 106, 107 for Wednesday and Thursday. So that is in that danger zone for heat index. Anytime you're spending prolonged outside, especially up on roofs, I imagine it's going to be way hotter up there. So, you're going to want to, again, take lots of breaks, drink lots of water is the best advice I can give you. It's going to taper off a little bit into Sunday, and then 98 degrees sounds cold. And that's what we're going to see on our heat index for Sunday as those temperatures start to fall. Oklahoma City, following a similar pattern, a little bit cooler. Extreme caution for today with a max of 104 degrees expected in the city. So again, just staying aware, bring that water bottle with you, try not to spend too much outside time, and if you're planning on going on a crazy long run or bike ride or something, perhaps reconsider. But it should drop down to Saturday by around 88 degrees, and then popping back up on Sunday, seeing that high temperatures potentially return. So that's what we got for our heat index for you guys down in the south. The rest of us should hopefully stay pretty cool if you're pretty much north of like Kansas, so that's some good news for you. You guys can go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And we're at HailTrace on everything, so we should be pretty easy to find. And we're also on Threads, so go ahead and follow us there. And if you guys want to get in contact with us, you can go ahead and scan that QR code up above me or click the link in the description to this video to access our mapping products. Again, we map all severe storms across the nation, hail, wind, tornado, hurricane, whatever it may be. We're mapping it live. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.